make sure you use that hashtag. All right, so we're a weekly educational program right here at Rose State. Every Wednesday at 9 a.m. we try to get 2 local entrepreneurs to come up and present their businesses to all you fine people. And then in return, they're going to go a 6-minute pitch. And in return for 20 minutes, we're going to provide them feedback, questions, and just basically that's it. For questions and answers, try to help them out. You never know what little tidbit of advice you might give them that they just didn't think of, or you're using the outside perspective to kind of help grow their business. Today is also Veterans Day, so who's a veteran in here? Can you raise your hand? Thank you all for this. Red, white, blue pancakes at IHOP until 7 p.m., so make sure you get on those. All right, today I'm going to talk a little bit first, and then we're going to have Mr. James come up and talk about his business. First, who has their own business right now? You have your own business. Who is active on social media with their business? All right, does anybody mind sharing some of the strategies that they use on social media? Anybody?
Hope and pray.
Hope and pray. No. All right, well, I'm gonna share real quick a strategy that I like to use. I can't create content. It's just me and Brandon here. So some of these websites, you got like BuzzFeed and all these big major publications or media outlets, they can create content like on the go. They have writers like PubCo, the Daily Oklahoma, they all have writers. They can write new articles every single day. I cannot. All right, I got to run the business. Brandon's got to help with the show producing and help with the podcast. We can't put out that kind of content like these other big dogs. So what I like to do is I repurpose their content. I'll share their content. Let's say that Mr. James writes a blog article about his business, and it's interesting to me, and I think that it would resonate with my audience, because I'm in crowdfunding space with Kickstarter and Indiegogo. So anything entrepreneurial, so Entrepreneur Magazine or Inc. Magazine or anything like that. And what I like to do is, one, we're all on Facebook. Well, I assume everybody's on Facebook. And I go through my news feed and I see those articles all the time. It just fills up my news feed with Entrepreneur Magazine articles or Inc. Magazine articles. And I'll click on that link and I'll save it in Safari, because I don't use Safari, I use Google Chrome. So I have this huge, if I open up my Safari on my phone right now, I have this huge, like 50 different tabs of content that I can share. Who remembers Sniply? Sniply, when we talked about Sniply, real quick, Sniply, snip.ly. What Sniply is, it's a link shortener. You can take one of those content that I read and I like to read about from Entrepreneur Magazine, I'll take it and I'll put the URL into Sniply and it creates a short little link. But on top of it, you'll have a little floating bar that stays on any web page you share. You're not stealing any traffic from that website or anything bad like that, because it still takes it to the host site. But at the bottom, right down in this little section, there will be a little button with my logo, and it'll say, here's my free ebook, click here to get it down. It automatically sends them to MailChimp, and MailChimp automatically sends the ebook. I don't even have to do anything. I just get a little message, an email saying, hey, you got a new subscriber to your email list. So everybody should be working on an email list. No matter what kind of business you have or what kind of business you're building, an email list is important. Addresses, people move. Phone numbers, people change. Facebook, people cancel and create new ones. Same thing with Twitter and everywhere else. Email lists, pain in the ass to change it. Nobody changes it. All right, back to the 30 days of content. What I would do, or what I recommend for everybody, every single day at the end of the month, or every single month at the end of the month, Brandon and I will sit down, we'll go over what links we have, and then we'll start inputting them into Facebook. We'll start inputting them into Twitter. You have to share more times on Twitter, because a post on Twitter is only about 7 minutes in the lifespan. On Facebook, it lasts a little bit longer. But in order to share that content, automate it, we take one whole day. One whole day, we'll sit down, we'll take every single link that we got, and then we'll input them into Sniply. I'm trying to find one for you here. Dave, have you shared any Sniplys lately?
Me, not lately. One thing I will offer to everybody too is, if you go to HubSpot, there's a lot of sites that offer calendars to plan your social media presence, and then you can automate all that through Hootsuite. So if you take a day a month or a day a week and you look at your content you're going to deliver, you can program it all out and it will go out automatically for you, which makes it much easier and much more efficient. If you try to do it daily on your own, you'll miss it. Trust me, I'm there right now. I had it all planned and programmed, and Mike got busy and I slowed down, so I'm catching up. And he and I had talked about it yesterday, the importance of stay on that schedule, get it built, let it go, because you gain momentum when you do that. And when you stop, especially on Twitter, you lose momentum really fast.
Yeah.
So I grew my Twitter followers 200 people in less than 2 weeks because I was on it, but it's kind of stagnated because the last week I haven't been engaging enough. So you have to stay engaged. You have to stay on top of it. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, but that's my experience with growing my list.
Still winning. Kind of further big, like he's saying, yeah, so if you schedule it all at the beginning of the month, or you could, I wouldn't recommend a year, that's too far out. I was going to say you could do a year, but that's too far out. But if you do it at the end of every single month for the new month, you'll have 30 days of posts. You'll have some posts on Facebook. You can still share the regular content that you should be sharing, like behind the scenes shot of you and your team working, building a product, or whatever it is that you want to share with your audience. You can still share that. And you can still share it regularly through Twitter or anything like that. Hootsuite is a great scheduling app. Hootsuite doesn't just do scheduling though. Let's say you're searching popular hashtags. For example, we search Kickstarter a lot because that's where the space we work in. So we'll set it up. You can set it up to follow all these popular hashtags or even phrases. That's also within Hootsuite. That's not just scheduling. So you can follow these popular ones like crowdfunding consulting. If I put in crowdfunding consulting, those two words, and then anytime somebody on Twitter says crowdfunding consulting, then I'll know about it. And all I got to do is go there and reply, hey, are you looking for a consultant? Or hey, are you looking for a course? Or hey, check out our podcast, or crowdfunding podcast. Or if concierge car wash, or something like that. If you're looking, hey, oh man, I'm too lazy to wash my car today, or something along those lines. You can put in phrases, anything. All this is within Hootsuite. I would show you, but we're having some difficulty with our internet right now. So Hootsuite.com, it's $19.95 a month, I believe. There's free ones as well. You got Buffer app, Post Planner. And what's really cool about also Hootsuite does this, and Post Planner I know for a fact does this, is once you get in there and you start scheduling some content, after about a week or two, they're going to start recommending content for you to share. And all you got to do is literally click what time you want to share that content. They'll already have it set up for you and ready to go. Hootsuite and Buffer app. Make sure you're sharing on social media. These are great ways. And Sniply, I don't have a tutorial, I'll post a tutorial on the Facebook group. SNIP.ly. This is an awesome tool to grow your email list and just let it do it for you. So focus on building your email list. Focus on engaging. Focus on sharing through social media. Just make sure that we're all doing this. It's 2015. This is how business is done now. All right? You got to be transparent. Don't try to hide anything. We're going to have Mr. James come up and present his business here in a moment.
I don't think you talked to me.
I know. So we're winging it. Mr. James, you want to come on up? He's a veteran, so thank you for your service.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Yeah, he wants me to spend more time now. After we rehearsed this on Monday, and they said, hey, you're too long. Now it's the complete opposite, right?
Yes, sir.
Stay with your time. There's more time for questions.
Aye. All right. Again, good morning. I'm Jeff James, as Zach introduced. And I want to just say Happy Veterans Day to everyone here again that we're a veteran. Right now, we're bringing to you, I'm the new owner of VIP Car Wash and Concierge Car Service. We're a new type of car wash that we're looking to open up here in the near future here in Oklahoma City and beyond, actually. A little bit about myself. I am a 28-year Air Force veteran. I spent 6 years here at Tinker before going out to California. Spent another 3 years, retired in 2011, and came back here to figure out the next page of life. So right now we've already financed our landing page, which should be upgraded to a website. And what we've done is we've created a car wash that provides a dynamic car wash experience with an upscale, innovative, indoor full-service car wash operation that can be used year-round. Within the state of Oklahoma, there's probably about 50 to 150 days at below 32 degrees. Here in Oklahoma City, it varies from about 50 to 70 days. So what we're hoping for those 50 to 70 days, we're going to remain open during inclement weather or below 32 degrees, and we're going to still make money. And what that does is going to put more money in the business and also a better return to our investors. I put together a good team. I've got a CPA, an architect, a realtor, and an attorney. And we've pretty much come up with some really good ideas, and I hope that you like them. Right now, the cost of this entire endeavor is about $2 million. And we're looking for about $400,000 for 20% interest into the company to get started. We're currently going to meet with 2 other investors. One's a property owner and one's a developer, to see if that fit and synergy is going to work out. What we're hoping to do is we're going to also provide, with our business model, we're going to provide free courtesy rides. We're going to provide pickup and drop-off service for a fee, and also the ability to schedule appointments. One of the things that's important to me is that our locations are going to be in locations where there are other retail services, whether it be restaurants, retail stores, something for our customers to do other than sit there and look at the four walls of a car wash. And at the end, when the car is ready, we're going to have the capability of texting our customers that their car is ready. My goal is to shake up, challenge, and evolve the car wash industry. And we're going to do this by offering a very upscale, innovative facility with outstanding customer service. This is what you are typically welcome to when you go to a car wash. You're trying to line your vehicle up, that left wheel, which can be challenging for some. And then when you leave these facilities, you end up having to wipe your car down because guess what? There's enough water inside your rearview mirrors, your side view mirrors, your wheel wells, coming out of your door jambs or your trunk space. So what we've done is we've changed that. The new concept and design for a car wash is going to have this belt conveyor, which takes care of expensive low-profile vehicles and up to duties, which right now is lost revenue for most full-size car washes. We didn't stop there, so at the end of the experience, we went with these aero dry dryers that will pretty much give you 100% dry on your vehicles. A little bit more money for them, but they're worth the expense. And after you exit this, we'll have a detailed area where by hand, guys will make sure all the wheel wells, the door jambs, the trunk space, and all your crevices are blown out with air to make sure your car is 100% dry. And at VIP, we want to keep with our mantra, we don't miss a spot. We're working with our architect, Randy Floyd, who's designed the facility. So not only is the building going to be kind of a work of art, but it's going to be environmentally friendly, using water reclamation. So we have that system that's going to be going in, as well as eco-friendly products. Just another overview of the design. And this is all inside the building. We will have the capability of those customers that aren't going to pay, say, the full price and they want a quick wash. They're going to be able to go through the wash tunnel, exit the building, and we're going to have courtesy bathrooms on the outside. One of the other parts of the concept is the new Floss and Go, which literally after the car is washed, we run this through, it's sprayed down by hand with wax, and it is put through what they call a buffering tunnel to bring out the shine. And then some of you may be wondering, where's this business model coming from and is it successful? Well, hopefully this will work.
I think he said they weren't connected to the internet.
Well, I have wireless. They couldn't get
wireless.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
But you have to hook up to the wireless.
I did, and I thought we,
Okay.
That's not active.
And hey,
for whatever reason,
if this doesn't work, then I can give you a link to download this video and load it on your hard drive so you don't have this problem presentation to you. It'll pull off YouTube.
right now we're
This is
stuck.
the video of the
Yes. Bear with me. Nothing like coming in and having technical problems first thing in the morning.
It's always when they happen.
Exactly. It is expected, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not doing anything.
Can you explain a little bit about the video?
What the video is going to show you, let me see if I can get this. said connected, but it's not.
Did it take you to a page where you had to agree to the conditions?
And that's what, it didn't come up on this one, and it should have. All right, so what the bid is going to entail is in the Netherlands, they have very large car wash facilities where they're running a lot of real estate, where you're going to have a prep station, and you have a car wash, and then you have a floss and bow. And it's very successful right now. What we've done is taken that model and shrunken a little bit and tried to put it on probably 1.2, 1.3 acres right now. Up there, they used about 2 or 3 acres of real estate to run a car wash. But they're doing quite well. So right now, open to questions. Again, I apologize for the video.
That's your fault.
So what sources are you looking at for funding? Are you going to venture capital guys? Are you going to individuals?
Well, right now, the two primary people, one is a property owner that owns about 1.5 acres downtown. Might invest that into their business. And the other one's a developer. They're looking at different things with this particular developer.
Is this going to be like a monthly subscription model, or is this going to be a one-time fee?
Yes, we're going to have it both ways. We're going to offer a monthly subscription model. If you want 1 wash a month, 1 wax. You want 3 washes, 1 wax, up to 5 washes and 1 wax a month, and we have prices dedicated to that. And the subscription is going to be executive, CEO, and president.
Who's your target market?
Target market is going to be open to the public. So I mean, we're going to look at whoever gets their car washed. Whether it's the executives that are going to want some pickup and delivery service, which we're going to charge a fee for. The stay-at-home moms that are taking care of kids, they're going to come by. So it's going to be open.
How will you approach your target market?
Well, we've got a media blitz that we're going to put out, working with a realtor who also does advertisement. So we've got that scheduled where we're going to hit the airwaves. We're going to do some hard stuff, and definitely online. That's a big presence. Like I said, the landing page is done. It's not open, up and running, out for the public. But as soon as we can secure our financing with the property and move forward, then we'll start that process. I'm sorry, in the back, sir.
About your building, I have several questions, so bear with me. One, do you own the copyright to that design?
Do I own it?
Yes.
Not right now, no.
Will you own it?
I will own it, yes.
Okay.
When this is done, yes. That was just a rendering, which we paid for her services to do the renderings, to get this going. Had a dozen or so meetings, working out everything. We actually had the car wash manufacturer come into town, sit down to make sure our numbers were correct. Turning radiuses for up to a dually. We got to make sure all that stuff is right because it's inside the facility.
Okay. Are you trademarking that design?
As far as the facility,
Yes.
that's something we're going to consider. Some things may not require that trademark because if you're in a different location, like a developer, may have different requirements for your area. So, and as we grow, we're hoping to move from the Oklahoma City market to other cold weather states that do have inclement weather.
Okay.
Now, does your subscription model, like the subscription, like if I subscribe, does that include the pickup? Like you're going to come and pick up the vehicle?
It can, once we identify if that's something we want, yes. And we've talked to already insurance companies, so you have insurance for that delivery, the pickup service, being bonded, and making sure you have the right licenses. Yeah, we're going to pay about $14, $16K a year. So,
What sets you apart from companies like Red Carpet or something like that?
I'll tell you right off the bat, if you walk into any red carpet today, and not to downplay red carpet, but most people don't even like to sit in the waiting area. So that's why I went through an architect who has really good taste, and we're not going to have any what they call impulse buying. So there won't be stuff on the wall gathering dust. If you want that, go to Walmart, Target. That's not our venue. We're not going to look for money from that Target. So we're going to have a very clean, neat, Zen-like facility. We're going to have computers, enough plugs for computers, so the business person that wants to come by and hang out for a while, or anybody, is going to be able to plug in, get free Wi-Fi, and those kinds of things. So,
What's your pricing model right now?
As far as for the car wash,
Yeah.
the full car wash is $29.95, or $29, excuse me. We kind of switched that. So you go to Red Carpet, their top of the line is $34. So,
As you buy your subscription, do you get a price reduction?
yes, sir. If you get the top of the line for 5 washes and a wax, there's a 15% off of the top. Ma'am?
Yes. How many employees does it take to run a facility that large?
Well,
Do you expect more employees or fewer employees?
Well, we're going to base your employees on, how much flow you're getting through. So you're going to have better, actually, they wash more cars in the wintertime than during the warmer months, just because of what we put out there, with all the salt and stuff, people want their cars washed. So, you may be gearing up for between 6 employees and then maybe 15 or more, depending. And that's something we're going to have to gauge as we go. So one of the things I'm going to have to do is keep an eye on that and see what we need and continue to hire. Sir?
Jeff, good presentation. With regard to the facility, and what is your model for transition from cold to, in essence, how are you going to keep down your cost with regard to HVAC? When you think about every time you open a door, so you're going to have a transition area for the vehicle to roll in, another door rolls up. What's the model look like?
If you look at the design, the thermal windows that she's putting on here, we're going to end up using a lot of the energy from the sun. So that's going to give us a lot of warmth. So that should keep our heating down. So when the doors, because there are going to be 3 entry doors that come in, and there's going to be another 3 exit doors. 2 exit doors, I should say. So again, we're just going to have to figure that out as we go, what works best. But we are going to try to incorporate as much of natural heat as possible. So we've discussed that. So we are looking at that. And that design, again, that's where we're at today. It may not be the finishing product when it's all said and done. Yeah.
Are you utilizing solar and wind generated?
We talked about solar, and the discussion led to that there wasn't enough good return on that right now, but we are going to consider wind,
What about geothermal?
and we did discuss that as well. So again, we're still working through some of those widgets because we have some space right now, some time to figure out how the best way to work that cost and keep that cost down. So,
Have you investigated LEED certification for your environmental concepts to help you get perhaps some type of funding?
No, not
grants.
You get tax credits for those.
as far as that, yeah.
Tax credits.
Well, I know for a fact that there are tax credits available, but we haven't got to that yet to look for those to make sure we can, we're going to be able to get those.
You might want to give a phone call, if not a visit, to Metrotech. They developed a building that's state of the art for LEED certification, and they can talk to you about that.
Thank you. Sir?
Thanks for coming and sharing. This is, it's exciting to see this. I would really encourage you to think more about target marketing. When you talk about executives to soccer moms, and you talk about your waiting area having plug-ins for computers. Now I'm thinking, well, what are the kids going to do? So it seems like there's a lot of moving parts.
I can show you a slide on here where we do have a consideration for a children's play area. So that screen of the blueprint you can't see it very well, but there's a pretty large waiting area, and we haven't parceled that out on what we need to do for that.
And that's great. And if that's what you want to do, that's great. I'm just saying that you're probably adding a lot of cost to your business by not being more targeted.
And I think some of that will whittle down as we sit down and have that discussion. And we say, okay, hey, this is what's going to cost you now is $3 million. Well, guess what? This is what we need to take off. And we'll go through that process. We just haven't gotten there yet.
Great, good.
Ma'am?
Okay, sorry. I was kind of building on what he talked about, LEED certification. I love that you kind of mentioned eco-friendly products. Me personally, I'm more about spending more money if it's more eco-friendly. I would kind of maybe consider adding that to part of your marketing. But can you kind of talk about what does make one car wash more eco-friendly than
The big-
your other ones?
The big push right now is for water reclamation. You know, when I first started looking at a car wash, I talked to a car wash guy and I asked him about water. Did he reclaim water? He said, water's cheap. Don't worry about it. But we all know, cities change, right? We alternate our watering. We know what's going on in California. One of the things I did was I joined the Western Car Wash Association because I know they have the most challenges in California. So listening to them and watching what they do is where I'm going to focus my attention, just to make sure we're utilizing the best. The reclamation system runs between $50,000 to another $150,000, depending on the one you get. So that's a substantial cost, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. Because I think if water continues to be an expensive commodity, you're going to want a reclamation system.
Right.
So,
Along those lines, you might reach out to the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality and see if they've got anything that's on their hit list for car washes. Things to avoid.
environmental,
DEQ.
Oh, DEQ.
Yeah, DEQ, they're extremely helpful. They're extremely, there's a lot of money.
Jeff, how far out are you considering franchising?
I've looked in Wichita already. I've got family that's in Omaha, Nebraska. And I've been up to Minnesota, up in Minneapolis area, looked at a couple things up there. So again, because of the model the way it is, I don't want to only just do indoor car washes. We also look at some quick washes where they're outside, the $5, $10, $15 scheme there. So we're considering that as well. Depending on the areas, some areas that won't be able to sustain a car wash like this. So as we start to consider how we want to branch out, those are things we're looking at. Sir?
What is your average daily watering
We don't know that yet. So that's again, rather than put a whole lot of energy on every site we go to, until we get that site, and we're more in the negotiation stage, then we'll start to discuss issues on the water. Sir?
Like a real high capital investment. When I worked at pretty big companies around town, they have on-site detailing. Are you going to offer that kind of service?
Yes, sir.
How many cars a day do you need to break even?
Well, right now the number they look at is you find a location that gives you about 25,000 cars a month in traffic flow passing your business, and they go by 1%. You should be able to pull in 1% of that. On the financial trust I looked at or we've used, we've been profitable at a third of that number. 2,400 cars is what they're looking at roughly. I've used a third, I've used half, just to make sure where I would be at. So a third would be our minimum of those numbers. Ma'am?
In the local area, who do you consider to be your top three competitors? The second question being, who is the closest similar facility within surrounding states or cities?
I'll take your last question first. There's probably no similar facility. So when I first started talking about this plan, taking that European model, a lot of the car wash manufacturers said, why? But I think when you look at a climate or a location that you're going to lose weather, you ask the average car wash guy how many days is he closing? He's closing between 30, 40, 50 days a year, and I can avoid that and take in revenue during that time frame. That was something to consider. So right now there is no indoor car wash in many of the states right now. So as far as what was the first question?
The top three competitors.
Top three, well, Red Carpet is definitely one. There are a couple good out. Another car wash down in Norman. But Red Carpet, I would say, is my would be my number one competition. And I've visited 5 Red Carpets, and I really don't think it's going to be a big competition. Once we open up and we start getting our advertisement out and hit that target market, we'll offset that. We can beat them.
So just real quick, kind of along this targeting thing, just kind of a little bit of recommendations. I'm hearing VIP and all these things. I would think that if you targeted a very high upper end, is what you're talking about and what you're trying to do with this concept, I would think that you were going to get the back end of that. I mean, and I think about like if I'm driving a Nissan Altima, I'm driving a Ferrari, if I'm in a Ferrari, I'm going to want to go to the best car wash place to take care of my car. If I'm driving an Altima, I actually still probably want to go to the best car wash place to take care of my Altima. I would kind of, I feel like it's a little bit just all over the board on that. And I would think if you're targeting this VIP that you're presenting, this executive level, I would think you'd have a better focus there from a targeting standpoint than going all out saying I'm all over the public. Because when I think of it as being all over the public, I'm thinking about where's your location, where are you going to get the drive-bys, where are you going to get the people that are just stopping in versus if you're very targeted in the CEO environment or top executive level environment.
Good point. And I would say, we looked at it, that's why we stuck with downtown. We went to the classic curve area. But as we know, the downtown real estate market is like 5 times what it should be. Okay, so I looked at property that was less than an acre for $1.4 million. So it's astronomical right now. And they know it. I think it's going to stay down. We're watching the trend. Some changes have occurred. Gas and oil lost some jobs, so the market might be changing. So we're keeping an eye on it. Sorry in the back.
Jeff, I got to ask the hardest question of all. You're looking for $400,000 for 20%. Where do you get $2 million valuation?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
You're looking for $400,000 for 20% of the company. Where's the $2 million valuation?
Thanks, Mr. Wonderful.
Somebody's got to ask the hard question.
Can I defer that to the bank? I'll have to look at that. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head right now.
That's a fair answer.
Didn't expect that question.
One of the things that will help you through that process is in your cash flows and your property valuation. That'll help you get to your valuation when you ask that question by investors. So make sure your cash flow is supported and that you are wired focused on the cash flow and what it means. Honestly, most capital guys are going to say, yeah, your cash flow is made up, I don't care. But the fact that you know what your expectations, the fact that you've done your due diligence is going to show them you understand what you have to get there. And sir, you can help me if I'm incorrect.
I learned from Mark.
This particular business, I think, is probably going to end up the first year losing money. That's got to be built into the picture. The way that I look at this, that probably in 3 to 5 years, he will have enough cash that's pretty well going to take care of the cash flow of this particular business plus another one. He will be investing in another car wash in probably 3 to 5 years. And then another 3 to 5 years after that, there'll be another one. I hope I'm conservative on that.
And that's the goal.
Cash flows are king, and property valuation and costs are king in the capital discussion valuation.
And I have an outstanding financial Excel spreadsheet that Sandy provided. So our numbers are crunched in there. All right, but I just didn't have that in front of me today to discuss that. But I do have a couple different variables.
And I'm only asking this because I see a lot of companies that every 5 or so years they replenish their technology, they'll update they scrap with the technology that they use. What are you kind of looking at that way?
As far as technology, one of the things that we won't have is a sitting cashier. We're looking at using iPads, so that gives a little bit more room, and updating that. We've talked to a couple different POSs, Shopkeep, along that line, and they're consistently updating their software and product line. So they're giving us a lot of depth on that. So is that?
Well, what I'm saying is like every 5 years or every 10 years or so, the company will go through and they'll just completely remodel everything and change everything over. What are you looking at? Are you looking at maybe 20 years down the line, are you changing the whole structure or even the technology that you use to do the car wash?
As far as the car wash, yeah. And that's something we haven't considered yet.
Okay.
Sure.
Days of operation.
7 days a week right now. And we'll modify that based on our customers. If we see no purpose in opening on a Sunday or some other day of the week, we'll verify. We'll figure that out. One of the other markets that we're going to go after is the fleet services, whether it's state or federal. And we're going to try to run that out usually during non-business hours, so in the evening, and try to make that convenient. That's what we're going to try to do. a whole nother ballgame. Once you're up and running, then go try to get that either state or federal. Yeah.
Kind of a random question, but I just know my boyfriend gets really mad. He owns a work truck, from his company, and none of them fit in car washes. And I know his company, that fleet thing, kind of thing to make sure they have are you doing like super high clearance?
We will have enough clearance. The biggest issue right now is the width of the dualies, and that's where we're gonna, that's the max that we're gonna go. So as far as the height, as we still develop this, we're talking with the car wash manufacturer. They understand what we're looking at, so they're factoring that in.
You're all right. The fleet thing is a big.
Yeah, and I've talked to a couple of people actually in the oil and gas about it, and they enjoyed that. So, yeah. Sir in the back.
Her question just drove one to my mind. What about tractor trailers?
We won't be doing tractor trailers, sir. That's a whole lot of clearance.
Yes, it is.
That's a whole, and then that changes your building. That changes your.
Well, I was thinking on the outside loop.
Yeah. Okay. Can you yeah, just like you pointed out, the weight on the conveyor would be astronomical. So it's a whole different market for tractor trailers.
I started.
Say again, sir?
Do it.
You let no. I'll let Jeff do that.
Here's a truck wash location. Realistically, how long do you
Well, we're hoping from the time we get financing and find a facility, we've got 90 days.
Sorry, Will, big question. Sorry.
He wanted to know how long before we launch.
Okay.
So once we can negotiate a deal on property and talk to the bank and get that going, we got 90 days from there. But it's finding that location and getting that locked in with our investment, make sure we're good there, and then we'll get with the bank and then go from there. But it's about a 90, maybe 120 days max. So.
All right, so final question. As a 1 million Cubs community, how can we help you out?
Well, you've helped me out a lot with a lot of good information so far, and if there's anyone that wants to discuss investing or want to discuss this further, by all means, I have some cards. You can email me, you can give me a call, and we can talk.
All right, well, thank you for coming up. So a few announcements. The 2015 Entrepreneurial Summit will be next week on the 19th at the Reed Center, which is nearby here somewhere.
2 blocks west.
2 blocks west of here. Dave King, who's an organizer, if you present at 1 Million Cups, you go through kind of a rehearsal process. Mr. James went through it. You'll come down to Exaptive, which is who Dave King, who will be presenting at the Entrepreneurial Summit. Not presenting, he's a keynote speaker. He goes through and kind of gets some great feedback, and I think Mr. James can admit that, he's extremely knowledgeable when it comes to presenting and it comes to these things, anything pretty much entrepreneurial. So make sure you get the chance to check it out over the Reed Center. I don't know if it's a free event, do you know, Jennifer?
It is a free event.
It's a free event. So
I2E.org.
9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and what was it again?
You can go to the I2E website and they have it up and you can register.
All right, go to the I2E website and you can register for free to attend this. It's 9 to 1 at the Reed Center, 2 blocks west. Also, this weekend is the Oklahoma State Startup Weekend. If anybody's going out to Stillwater to participate in that. And starting in January, there will be a patent attorney that will be present right over at the Fab Lab here at Rose State every single morning to give you any advice you need. He can't file a patent for you, but he'll be able to provide any type of information or advice that you need. Jerry.
Wednesday mornings, Zach.
Wednesday mornings.
Wednesday mornings, right after 1 Million Cups.
Yeah, right after 1 Million Cups. Did you have any other announcements?
Yep, you bet. I've got a flyer here for you. We have a free workshop for patent and trademarks in this building, December the 1st. It's free, but you have to register for the event. And also, welcome Robert Coleman. Robert's the Economic Development Director for City of Midwest City and has a lot of tools and stuff that entrepreneurs may need. That's all that.
Okay. So we'll be here next Wednesday. I think we've got 2 presenters for next week, so hope to see you all. Whenever you come, please bring somebody with you. You never know who might need that extra little push to make that entrepreneurial leap. Thanks for coming, guys.
Hey, if you're an organizer, hang around for a little bit.